Like everything else, it takes practice. Try again.
Hello, welcome back to Star Trek Sodium. This time we have the second episode of Season 1 of Star Trek, Charlie X, and the first to be written by beloved Star Trek writer D.C. Fontana, who would go on to write for Star Trek, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, as well as the animated series. If she wasn't dead, you could probably describe her as being a living legend of Star Trek. Those of you that have seen Charlie X will know that Charlie is a humanoid boy, but did you know that Charlie being a human was their last choice? The first idea for Charlie was for the powerful kid to be a cuddly-looking soft alien creature, as seen here in an early production photo, who would lull people into a false sense of security. The costume was too hot and unbelievable though, as Gene insisted that Star Trek should only have realistic creature effects. The second idea for the Charlie character was for an elephant-like creature, but after they started to build it, it was decided that it would just be too expensive to make the whole thing, and the third idea for Charlie was for it to be a tiny man, but this was unworkable, and so they gave up, and the final idea for Charlie was simply that he'd look like a human boy of 17. The 26-year-old actor Robert Walker, who plays 17-year-old Charlie in this episode, was reportedly actually the brother of actor Bruce Willis, only having a different father. This connection wasn't made public at the time, as the actors wanted to get by without people thinking that they'd only gotten so far in acting because of their famous brothers. Upon further investigation, it also transpired that he had a different mother too, making the situation even more interesting. Another actor who was 26 in 1966 was a young Patrick Stewart, who possibly also auditioned for the role of young Charlie Evans. The trouble was that whereas the eventual Charlie actor, Robert Walker, looked exactly 17, actor Patrick Stewart looked old beyond his years and was unbelievable as a 17-year-old. Patrick Stewart would go on, of course, to make a name for himself over the years in science fiction, with his amazing role of Gurney Halleck in 1985's Dune, and of course those churned out X-Men films that the kids used to like back in the early 2000s. Young Charlie Evans only seems to use his powers when he's trying to please someone or when he's really annoyed with someone. And when he does that, he dips his head and acquires a strange look on his young face. This strange look on his face was possibly suggested by Gene Roddenberry himself, who instructed the actor to look as crucid as possible. Charlie would put his head down a little and wobble his body around, but Roddenberry suggested that it wasn't quite crucid enough. Gene showed him exactly what to do with his own older face, which Charlie copied exactly, and that's why this magical gesture exists. A miscommunication between the actor Lou Jettel and the producers of Star Trek led to him somehow believing he was going to be living in the Star Trek studio. The bridge officer actor, who didn't actually have any lines, always sat happily at the back of the bridge, possibly scanning for new life and new civilizations. On his first day at the soapy studio, he appeared with 2 suitcases full of clothes and belongings, as he somehow thought he had to live at the studio for the role. When he started unpacking his clothes, the Spock actor, Nimoy, asked him what the hell he was doing and soon set him straight. Spock allegedly was overheard saying, "If anyone can live in this grand place, it's me. I'm the Star Trek master around here." The network executives allegedly didn't understand the concept of Charlie X at all, despite them having had it explained to them several times. They said that the Hensing episode didn't make any sense. A boy can't have all these powers. Jean told them that it's just science fiction where anything is possible. But that only confused the pen pushers even more. They scratched their heads and wondered what the hell Jean was on about, saying things like,
"What you on about? I don't get it. What's this all about?"
It apparently took half an hour for Jean to persuade them to give this soapy episode the green light, despite them still not understanding it at all. This soapy episode introduces new rooms to the Starship Enterprise, including the galley, where the staff gather around to eat and ponce around. Two sets that Gene Roddenberry demanded to be built were the Enterprise Library and the Star Trek swimming pool. The problem was that neither requested sets were actually needed in any of the upcoming scripts, so it would have been a waste of time and money making them. I don't know about you, but I would have loved to have seen the famed Star Trek swimming pool. I expect that if Sulu ever needed to take out his frustrations and have a few laps of a pool, that the Star Trek swimming pool would have been the ideal location for it. It was during the production of Charlie X that Uhura reminded Gene Roddenberry that she was given permission to sing one of her amazing songs. Just the week before, Gene reluctantly gave in and forced writer Dorothy Fontana to rewrite the scene in the galley to include Uhura breaking into song for no particular reason.
Guys, whose devil is and devil
Thankfully, Uhura's opportunity to sing became a gift like fine wine to the viewers at home, who got to experience perhaps the best singing of all time. Gene Roddenberry faced an uphill struggle while making the early first season episodes of Star Trek when the studio executives announced that they didn't like the Star Trek theme music at all and suggested that a song, maybe by the Rolling Stones, would probably be much better. Gene argued that theme music for Star Trek had been chosen from hundreds of choices, and that featuring a pop rock song would not only be expensive, but it would not suit Star Trek at all. Eventually, Gene managed to get the studio to keep the Star Trek theme, as the notion of a girly rock song being a Star Trek theme was absolutely ludicrous. Thanks for listening to my terrific facts all about the Star Trek episode Charlie X. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed these facts and you want to hear some more. Comment underneath and let me know any facts that you might know about this episode that I don't know. That's extremely unlikely, but go ahead. Okay, I'll see you next time, and thanks for your time. Ta-ta!